Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. The first thing we have to address is the Matrix. It's come back for one last try. Don't worry, we've got it all sorted. I'll be picking up my PC very soon. It's going to be all right, friends. BTC, 120K. Everything seems to continue the rise. Ethereum hit 3,500, but I've continued to really check out the scope of crypto right now. Where is everybody allocated? Everyone is being really excited for what is coming around the corner. We have Donald Trump, the Clarity Act, the Evil Genius Act. Even though they're actually bad for crypto, they seem to be passing through. We've got Sharp Stink, which is buying more Ethereum. We have Tether printing money, XRP cranking through the highs. It really is a 2017 cycle. Let's go and check out what the charts look like. Here we have BTC. This is the monthly chart. BTC firmly in the tasty tube zone. This is 120,000 American dollars. We are cranking on here. Even James Wynn and his leverage, maybe this is the one that doesn't actually wipe him out. It's going to be funny if he does get wiped out. He might add a bit too much later on. We'll see. This is Ethereum's monthly chart. As you can see, it's cranking on through. It recently hit 3,500. It just nicked it. So it's like just trying to take a stab through this big wedge. Hopefully we come and we crank up through the high soon and we enter full-on price discovery. We've got big news coming in that way, just to show you how fast things can flip, even though it felt like it would never flip. Right now we have Ethereum flipping Bitcoin in volume, and Ethereum is seeing record ETF flows. I mean, it took its sweet ass time, right? Only a year and a half later. So I guess we'll see if that can continue. This is the ETH BTC ratio. We are still sitting at 0.028. This is rubbish. The ETH spot ETF was 0.0, pretty much 0.055 right here. So it is rubbish. Everything about it is just garbage, and we need quite some time to pretty much get back to this 5 zone. That would be if Bitcoin was 150K, that's about a $7,500 Ethereum, I think, around there. And that's where the first big major fib level is for ETH. The exact price is 7,200. Checking out the smaller time frames, if we go and look at BTC on the daily super trend chart, this is actually James Wynn's liquidation. He might have actually moved it, friends. I know he likes to pretty much toggle it up. This is BTC on that daily, right? Here he is cranking on through. Is this a sufficient backtest? Maybe. Maybe it is. The thing is as well about this, the fact that we didn't even really backtest this 112 kind of tells you perhaps in the bear market, we might actually come back down to this zone. Okay, but it makes sense, right? I mean, Bitcoin's 112. You know, it's better to talk about 112 rather than like, 22,000 or something. So BTC coming on through this daily super trend here. Hopefully we get, 125, 130, and we might just see every $1,000 from here. As Bitcoin ticks up, we're probably going to see a massive acceleration in altcoins, which we've been waiting for this moment for literally years. I mean, I thought the key moment was like, Bitcoin 60K. Around the all-time high. Then it was like Bitcoin 70K, and then that didn't do it. And then it hit Bitcoin 100K. It still didn't do it. That was a wild part, man. We hit 100,000 American dollars. Bitcoin still did not enter this zone. That was the end of last year where we could get an alt season. It hit 100K, and then it didn't even matter. It hit 100K, came, and then we have Donald Pump with the tariff tantrum, and now finally up here, it was 120. So that's why, friends, do you remember I've been talking about this point of inflection that I've been talking about for a long time? I coined that term, right? The point of inflection for Bitcoin and altcoins, and we're always just guessing what it's going to be, And you hope it's a low number, but this was the highest and the worst number of all. I mean, like, think about this, man. Back when Bitcoin was $20,000 back in 2022, look how destroyed altcoins were. It's just very, very sad. The sad state of affairs. 4.5 years of rubbish nothingness. It took a Bitcoin price of $120,000 to finally flip the switch in everyone. That's disgusting. That's horrible. I can assure you one thing. In the next cycle, it will nowhere near be that bad. Not even close. It will be much better. How much better? I don't know. You see, if you knew the point of inflection, you would basically just sit in Bitcoin the whole time and just rotate as soon as it hits that point. You just don't know. Okay? You don't know. So in altcoins, this is actually interesting now that I think about it, friends. Actually, now that I am thinking about this number, in 2021, the all-time high was 20K, right? Before that. Let me actually show you. I've actually just realized something, friends. It's about 2x the all-time high. So the all-time high was 20K. The alt season starts when Bitcoin hits 40. Here you go. Here's January. There you go. Around 40K. There you go. And then we have alt season. There you go. February. Then you go March, June, July, March, April, May, June. And then it's all over. That's wild. So that was 2x the all-time high. Okay. In our cycle, it was the same thing. Our all-time high was around 60K. Yes, around 60. The highest monthly close was 60K. And then 120 is now when we can pretty much tell, oh wait, now it's actually rotating in. It's 2x the all-time high. What we might actually do while we're here, if you go back to the 2017 cycle, the last Donald Pump cycle, which what do I have? I have it right here. The previous all-time high was about 1,200. When did alt season start? If you check it here, friends, this is why 2017 was so amazing. It started as soon as Bitcoin pretty much broke the all-time high. It's kind of funny. So actually, the alt season, I think it actually starts around March. So around 1,200 here. Bitcoin breaks the all-time high and it goes. And it was funny if you have this is where June, July is. This is when alt season peaked. Okay, alt season peaked. And then you go like 6 months earlier and it's around here, near the all-time high. So that's just that's a sad, unfortunate reality about that. Like we got dicked on that one pretty hard. So because in 2017, a Trump cycle, you just needed Bitcoin to get to its all-time high. And then it kickstarted. It has to break the all-time high, right? As soon as it started breaking, Ethereum and everything just literally rockets. XRP rockets, everything rockets. In 2021, it was pretty much a scam. It wasn't just Bitcoin breaking the all-time high. Bitcoin went to the all-time high, and then you needed to go another 2x. That's huge, man. And that's exactly what we got to see right now. So I'm very unfortunate that we had to do that. I wonder what it's going to be next cycle. You know, we could just wonder. That's why, friends, that's why like a lot of people will say, hey, that ask me, hey, man, do you regret any of this? No, I don't. You don't know the price, bro. Like it's easy in hindsight to say, oh, business ISM cycle went down. Let's play some angel music for us. It's easy to say, oh, the business cycle went down for 32 months in a row. It's still down. Don't you just wish you waited? Yeah, but next cycle's not going to be this bad. I guarantee you it's not going to be this bad. Okay, I'll bet anything it's not going to be this bad. And no one's going to believe it. Yeah, no one's going to believe it. The thing's going to probably shock everyone. It doesn't mean altcoins are going to be amazing or anything, but I think we're going to have, a Bitcoin dominance drop move in 2028, our Bitcoin halving year. You know, I have a feeling something like that's going to happen. Just because by the nature of everything, I think everybody's going to be positioned with too much Bitcoin as they buy the dip. Too much Bitcoin, and they're going to be underexposed to altcoins in the next one, you know? But like, here's the thing, like, how much do you want to bet on that, you know? Do you want to go all in on that RD? No. You know, maybe you just, you think about it. But we don't have to worry about all of that. Let's worry about us cranking in this cycle. So this is the total crypto market cap, friends. It's almost 4 trillion. So we're between 3 and 4. These numbers are garbage, right? We want to get to this $10 trillion zone. Maybe there's going to be a pit stop. So there are fib levels here, right? At 4.38 trillion. There might be a pit stop at 6.64 trillion, right? And the highest is this 10 trillion. I really do hope we get there. Man, it'll be great. If we go up here, friends, I'll tell you something. If we go up here and then, man, like we exit, but then the crypto industry like does this, man, that's going to be so fun because that's actually like, you could probably just put on leverage shorts, 2x leverage shorts on, just go to all the altcoins and do that. Not that you should do that. Don't do that. But you probably get, if that happens, friends, you might even get like, I'll show you again. If the crypto industry comes up here and you've got an out and then it surprises you and it goes to 12, right? Everyone's going to think it's going to go up forever. But most likely up here, I believe if that happens, we will see GCR comes out of hiatus. We will see, shorts get put on. Actual, like GCR goes, it's totally over now. And yeah, well, they put on a short and stuff out here. But yeah, that is, you don't even want to get to that point. So if you even think, I just want you to know, so if you even think that, I want to put on a leverage short to make money on the way down, you failed in the bull market pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like there was 30 things to do. And now you're relying on item number 30 as a strategy to make money or something, that's like pretty much game over. It means you faded the first 29 stuff. But we haven't here. We're still going to make it because we are still long and strong. Now, this is the Chainlink versus Ethereum ratio. It's still down in the pooper zone. Hopefully, it goes up higher. I'll show you other charts and more of that to come later on. So everything's still in the stinker, but Ethereum hasn't broken the all-time high. You know, so Ethereum, we're happy Ethereum's 3,500, but you got to remember, man, the Ethereum high is 5,000. You know what I mean? And Bitcoin is 2x the all-time high. You know, so Ethereum 3,500. Oh, it looks great. No, it's rubbish. It's straight trash. Here's Richard Hart's buy price. Friends, anything under 4,000 is complete trash. Okay, and anything under 5,000 is mild trash. So this is complete sewer trash, and then still under 5,000. That's like it's still rubbish, but it's maybe New York street rubbish. You know what I mean? It's not actual putting your head in the bin, smelling the bin juice with the bin birds. It's not that type of rubbish, but it's still garbage. Okay, it's still garbage at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You don't want to put on your dinner plate, unless some people are into that, right? Don't go to that section of Pornhub. Now, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. As you're seeing, it's coming down, 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 down. If you're curious, friends, I'm just going to tell you something. So Ben Copen, okay, turbo bearish, just to show you, right? He was basically bearish on altcoins to the end. You know what I mean? Like the market, he did. It's kind of funny, right? You become a victim of your own arrogance and success in markets, right? So the worst thing that can happen to you in markets is to hit like a luck win streak, because most people's personalities, they're not built for constantly winning. It gets to their head, okay? It really does. Just human nature, right? So what ends up happening, right? He's bullish on Bitcoin dominance, up and up and up and up. Comes here, it comes down here. He goes, no, I'm still bullish. It goes up, it comes back here. He goes, no, I'm still bullish. Comes up, I'm still here. No, I'm still bullish. Comes up here. He goes, I'm so bullish. Bitcoin dominance 66%. It's going to 70%, right? Still calling for it with Willy Woo 90%. He's calling for 70%. Now it's back to 62, right? So what you're going to find is many people, they're not even going to remember. So what will happen is, as it goes down, friends, as it goes down, you're going to see the crowd, okay, they won't even remember if he pivots. And get that, they won't remember if he pivots. They will literally just constantly watch. You're going to see this. You're going to see this enormous shift. It's interesting to watch the crowd. So obviously, forget him. No one cares about him. Forget the crowd. No one cares about this individual crowd. Okay, just watch it from afar. You'll see the crowd. All they'll remember in their head is this one dude saying their portfolio is going to zero and altcoins are trash. And you're going to remember him going to the Bitcoin conference with Tether CEO Paulo, who says, I love the Bitcoin, I hate the crypto. You just see that over and you're going to remember Bitcoin conference. Everyone remembers, okay? They remember Bitcoin conference, not inviting Vitalik, who wrote for Bitcoin Magazine, but inviting all these shitcoin peddlers, CBDC pushers, all these other filthy trash subhuman filth, literally who run operations that are the reason that Satoshi invented Bitcoin in the first place. Do you understand? So it's literally like inviting El Crapo and other criminals to like a police convention to talk. And one of your most like esteemed maybe sergeants who put their body on the line or something for the police force, maybe like he doesn't agree with some of the laws that the police do. He agrees with, maybe 95% of them, just not 5%. And then so, the higher ups are like, that constable, right? Don't say that too slow. Constable. Maybe they just got on the wrong side of the higher up. So they'd rather put criminals there. That's pretty much what happened in Bitcoin conference. Okay. Literally, that's what they do. CBDC, friends. We've got a blacklist function put on a currency is literally why Satoshi made Bitcoin in the first place. And they just come and invite him out here. So that's what Bitcoin dominance pushers have been pretty much swimming with. So they're going to feel the wrath. If this thing does go down, man, if we really do see this collapse, friends, no one's even going to remember. So what's going to happen is they're going to come, friends, look, a lot of people ask me, hey, why don't you just sit in Bitcoin and rotate at the end? Okay, but you don't know when, bro. You don't know when. And by the way, see, if you're in altcoins right now with me, you can feel this is it, right? You feel it. However, they don't. Okay, they see you and me as retardios because you've been bullish forever. That's what they say. They go, oh, you're always wrong. This is not it. It's going to stop here. And then watch what you will find, these friends. On the stop, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, it's done. Oh, no, it's done. Oh, no, it's done. And they're going to keep calling it over and over and over and over again. Friends, you'll see. You'll see. This is pretty much just how markets, this is how they move, right? And then you'll see that these people are no different to you and me. It's just that they got lucky. They got lucky because we had a freak accident, you know? The business cycle stayed down for so long. Altcoins correlate to the business cycle. You know, we got crushed for so long that they really think, okay, it's Bitcoin only. You know, so it's absolutely not Bitcoin only. If it was, you'd have all the tech. You got no tech, bro. You can't do privacy on Bitcoin, friends. You literally can't do privacy on Bitcoin. You need KYC. If you want to go buy BTC, you literally need KYC. You have to give your passport, your driver's license, government authority. They know who you are. What's the point of that? Just think about what's the point of making another currency if the government can just come in and easily control the next thing anyway. You're just making an extension of them, right? So that's why in Ethereum, they build solutions for stuff around this. But no one really gives a crap, right? Because the prices are down. That's what it comes down to, right? Let's check out the big macro chart. This is the S&P 500. S&P 500 is, wow, super strong, 6,300. If you remember, friends, I've shown you some charts where pretty much based off the breadth, so the amount of stocks rising in the index. So when there's a lot of breadth, it means like heaps of the stocks are rising up together. When you have that, coupled with a massive VIX spike, which is what we saw down here. This is the tariff change from Trump. I remember I showed like, I think in the past 120 years, of data, there were 30 occasions that were like, you know, you could get this breadth reading, 30 occasions. In 29 out of 30, the S&P 500 was up in 12 months from now. In 6 and 12 months. So in 6 months and in 12 months. So it's kind of wild, right? The odds. Now let's crack on with some news over here. So we have the Ethereum ETF seeing record inflows, which is wonderful to see, friends. As well, on top of that, we have LibertySwap Finance on PulseChain continuing to dominate in mindshare as the rumored Richard Hart project adds support to multiple chains and adds features for privacy and cross-chain swapping. So, look, we're in a tough spot, friends, because firstly, we don't know if it's Richard. It's rumored, number one. Number two, PulseChain community has been absolutely wrecked, money-wise destroyed, pulverized, laughing stock of all the crypto. But also, even if Richard really wants people to shill this organically, no one's inclined. No one. Like, they want more hints. He's caught between, I guess you'd say, a clock and a hard place. There's also a Pornhub section for movies like that as well. Because he doesn't want to say too much because maybe the LibertySwap is bullish on PDI. Maybe it ruins the whole game. Okay. But if he doesn't say enough, well, man, here's the thing. Every single thing we touch in this chain, there's a scam, a bug. People are trying to grift the community. You know what I mean? Just there's literally everyone's just got like nothing left. So everyone's totally jaded. So and by the way, there's some soy boys like Soy Scout, and I've seen some other messages by these subhuman filth soy boys. They are basically they give this 0% chance that Richard's involved at all, because I think it's not fully decentralized. I think there's a private thing. They understand the code stuff, okay? I get it, man. I don't check that stuff out here. But what if it's him? What if it's him? Okay, we'll see. We'll see. But, you know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough when it comes to this, friends, because you're relying on this tech stuff. We don't know anything. And by the way, I'm not going to be held responsible if anything goes wrong. I don't know how to use the thing. I don't know how to check this stuff. I don't know about the infrastructure. So, look, how I just think it resolves itself is just like everything else. This dilemma, why it's only a dilemma is because the prices are dog shit right now. There seems to be these big whales. It feels like coordinated selling. A few big, large-scale wallets selling. As you can see now, this is the PulseChain Core Coins price chart out here. So they're selling. They're still down while everything else is going up. Here you have Hex doing this 9% retrace, maybe showing that it's done. I think there's like a couple of 100 million left in the wallet or something. People are watching. some sort of shakeouts happening, but whatever. Now let's crack on with some news as well. Sharp Stink have added 10,800 Ethereum worth $1 billion, which is huge. And also, friends, I've just seen a big announcement. Apparently, they are going to add 5 billion. So they're going to borrow a lot of money and get yield and stuff out here, which is, we'll see. Also, a bill requiring lenders to consider crypto holdings during the mortgage credit evaluation process has been introduced in Congress. So this is actually great news, friends. This is what you want. Now you never have to sell your crypto. And I'm not even joking. You literally don't even have to, you don't have to sell your crypto anymore. Yeah, you don't. Because if your crypto, here's the thing, right? You know what? Now that I think about it, what a big trap that would be at the top of the cycle. No one actually sells because they say, we don't need to sell. I can just send my crypto to the bank as proof of collateral. And the house I want to buy, or the unit I want to buy, or the credit points I want to get on my home loan, they consider the collateral. Man, I can just see myself saying, listen, man, just takes a profit. I could say, because this is how everyone gets wrecked at the tops. No one wants to pay the tax bill. This is funny, but now that you don't have to pay the tax bill, right? I'm like, are you going to take profit now? They go, no. I want to use it as collateral. So if I pay the tax bill, I get less points, which is true. So then people are going to be caught in a dilemma. Let's say some of you friends, let's say you want to put a deposit on a unit or something, or apartment, whatever. And hopefully you get the opportunity to do something like that. And maybe you got like 100,000 of crypto, and they take Bitcoin and Ethereum as collateral or whatever. And you could like basically rotate into that, pay taxes, but you don't have to sell all of it. You could like leave it in there. It's true. But like this, think about it, if you have that much in BTC, I can see how people are like, you know what? I don't want to click sell. I don't want to click sell. I have to pay tax. That's what they'll say. They'll say, I have to pay tax. And like, they take it anyway. They take the collateral anyway. So that's what we'll probably get to see. We'll probably get to see it play out like that, where the crowd is just so drunk they don't want to get out. XRP, friends, has reached a new all-time high of 200 billion market cap, which is huge. And it's a good testament for all of cryptocurrency industry, because it shows you that even with technology not even really working, it's still able to pump. Why? Memes, cults, religions. You have XRP army. That's why. Okay, you have the XRP army, and I'm going to show you the price chart now. Actually, we've got the market cap chart. It actually hit 200 billion. See, this just looks like amazing, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, no. This was literally hell. Okay, this part was literally hell. All right, you barely participated in you didn't even participate in 2021 bull market. Every single narrative went to every other coin but you, right? You in the third cycle curse, just to let you know. XRP was in its third cycle, okay? The third cycle, here's a skull emoji, is cursed, okay? It's cursed. The third cycle is cursed, but now you are moving early, which is pretty good for XRP. So hopefully that goes and cranks on to $9, $10, and everyone's talking about higher, but we'll see. We also have, friends, an Ethereum ICO Whale turned $416 into 4.9 million, depositing 729 meth to Kraken while still holding $2 million stake. So yeah, he got 1,000x. So how did he get the 1,000x? I guess he got it from 31 cents to 3,500. And he must have sold along the way, actually, because he's up actually 10,000x, I believe. Yeah, from 30, because Ethereum ICO was 31 cents. That's why everybody in PulseChain as well, everyone had high hopes that we wouldn't be down this bad after this long, after 4.5 years, down 75%. But we'll see, friends. Maybe there's some liquidity moonshot thing at the end. But also, like, look, I have no doubt PulseChain's going to pump. All right. The thing is, though, what floor are you going to hold? Is it going to be another 98% drop? And maybe roll it all again. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to this, right? Matador Tech unveils $650 million plan to acquire 6,000 Bitcoin by 2027, targeting a top 20 among corporate holders. So we're seeing Bitcoin Treasury bubble continue. We're going to be tracking the NAV of all of them. it's still my prediction that we're just going to wake up one day and the treasury value of the Bitcoin on MicroStrategy, which is, I guess, the spear of the treasury companies, I believe it's at like 1.7, 1.8 now, whatever. I think we're going to wake up one day and it's just going to start sliding. It's going to start sliding, and it might slide as Bitcoin's price goes up, right? And then it goes from 1.7 to 1.5, 1.3. People are going to think it's cheap, and then it eventually makes its way to zero. Because that's what happened to Grayscale, right? So I think it's going to happen. It's Bitcoin treasury companies, but like, it's crypto, bro. Like, you were calling it a Ponzi scam a few years ago. Now you're telling me you're going to outperform it? Do you know what I mean? Like, think about it. All these companies, all these treasuries, they were literally calling us Ponzi scams a few years ago. Now they're like, oh, no, we'll definitely outperform the crypto, which is just the Bitcoin. I don't think so, bro. I think that depends on how they're doing it. They're selling shares in the company. You know what I mean? You're literally just selling an altcoin, right? You're selling an altcoin on the stock market because altcoins are infrastructure of Bitcoin. Altcoins are like, hey, let me go mint this other coin and we're going to try outperform Bitcoin. That's pretty much all altcoins, right? Like meme coins. Oh, we're going to be a better, new, fresher cult. All right, we start from zero. Bitcoin's already got 400 million people in, you know? And privacy and smart contracts and all this other stuff, right? So you're adding tech and communities and everything out here. But but altcoins, friends, they're worldwide access. Who cares about the treasury companies, right? They're selling stocks. You know what I mean? So, but people haven't woken up to that. One day they will. Here we have, friends, as well. We have Tether have minted another $1 billion, making $3 billion in 24 hours. That's actually huge. So Tether is a lifeblood of crypto, remember, even though it's a CBDC trash. In terms of like, it's the first conduit into them coming and purchasing crypto from that when they do the minting. Here we have Adam Backshot with their Bitcoin Standard Treasury to go public via a Cantor-backed SPAC. Uh-oh. Man, friends, when you see SPAC, run. Run. Literally run. They're all scams. Every SPAC is a scam. Remember Shamath Palapoopi? He did him in 2021. He released like something stupid, like 9 SPACs. All of them dropped 95%. They all just got dumped on. All of them got rinsed. They got 30,000 BTC in the treasury. They'll be the 4th largest. They want to go public. Friends, okay, look. You're with me. You're in the baby doll friendship cult. You already know this, but just for everyone at the back, just so you know. These guys, Bitcoin maxis, friends, oh, man, I can't believe it. I manifested this. I told you this prophecy. I said the biggest scammers, dollar-wise, in crypto are not altcoins. It's Bitcoin. That's the biggest scamming. They do it on the leverage trading, 1% win rate trash, right? Number one. And look, this thing is actually topping it now. Now they're releasing stocks, which is just, regulated shit coins. And they're hiding under the guise of a Bitcoin logo. They go, oh, we got Bitcoin on our balance sheet. Here, come take my stock. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? But this is the game, right? This is the game. Remember, they are trash, but I don't think we're done yet. You know, we've got to get someone in who we don't respect, like Peter, the animal activists. One of these weird companies, I'm telling you, friends, one of these weird companies has to come in, and I'm telling you, it's going to make headlines. And I'm going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got our top signals right now. You know what I mean? But it has to be, I can't even think of the company. It has to be something so cringe where you and I are like, come on, bro, you know it's game over now. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I just use Peter, P-E-T-A, the animal activists. They run around. They're like, hey, let's sacrifice 15 babies to Aborimon, the new satanic god. Let's sacrifice 15 babies so we can save a baby turtle. That's a good trade-off. You know the Peter people? So we're waiting for that moment. We're waiting. And that's why if they put Bitcoin in the balance sheet, that's when I'm like, oh, crap. We finally got everyone in. Waiting for that moment, though. I don't think we're near that. We're not there yet. So all these people taking the pets, Michael Saylor and Adam Backshot, there's not enough people who have seen them rich yet. Right now, they're like winning, but they have to get to like, oh my gosh, they have to get to God status. Well, we're going to get there. BitOrigin, which is NASDAQ BTOG, has raised $500 million to buy Dogecoin, making it the first US listed company to adopt Doge as a core treasury asset. Hilarious. Can you believe? I can't believe I am reading that statement. Friends, 5 years ago, Faisal, baby doll Faisal, if you're watching, Faisal calls me up. I was spinning on this squeaky chair. It was a zombie virus. Right? He called me up and he asked me, because Faisal's in the UK, is it over? He asked me that. I said, young Faisal, I go, look, either the world is literally finished or we're going up only from here. That was on the Bitcoin when we collapsed to zero. I go, look, man, if you check the stock market, the past 100 years, these are these waterfall, go to zero moments where it has to go up only from here. Or stock up on shotguns and cigarettes and get ready to use your belly button, right? You'll be, you got to sell some part of your body to make food. So we went from that. Now I'm actually reading that a NASDAQ listed company wants to put Dogecoin as a core treasury asset. What is this world become? Friends, we win. Crypto, we win. We got them in. Crypto is the coolest, man. You guys believe in nothing, bro, out there. You believe in nothing. Johnson & Johnson, I've got baby bum powder in the bathroom. It's really good. Makes your bum fluffy. It's working. You don't get the rashes. It's nice, okay? But your stock price is shit. You know what I mean? No one cares. 8%. It don't feel anything for it. Look, if I see Johnson & Johnson baby bum powder shirt out there, of course I give him a nod. You know what I mean? We know each other, But anything else, like, you don't care. You don't care about that company that makes pacemakers for hearts. That's like, S&P 500 rank number 127. You don't care about that, right? But in crypto, we're all wearing the team shirts. Kind of funny, friends. Crypto, it really is for a conspiracy super cycle. It really is for that, because think about how nutty you have to be where we know of interdimensional forces, reptilians, the Aryans and the reptilian lizard blood fighting for multiple generations, humans caught in the middle. What even are we? We don't even know our true origin. The government keeping all this secret from us. Government knows stuff. Just think about all these advanced UFO tech, all these ancient biblical stories. Just think about all of them. At crypto, guys, we just latch on straight to that. But what's our conspiracy, right? So you think, friends, you got to think about, like, we've forgotten who we are. You got to understand, friends, in crypto, we're so freaking nutty. We have an imaginary internet Ponzi currency, and we all think our one is going to be adopted all over the world. Every single one of us. Doge, Ethereum, it doesn't matter what it does. It's an imaginary internet Ponzi currency. Even Bitcoin. Bitcoin did it. We literally did it. That's why we're winning. Bitcoin, it does nothing, bro. Storage value, shut up, bro. What does store value mean? It means you put it away and you hope someone else pays a higher price for it in 3 years. Storing value. So crypto's won, man. Crypto has won. The next step is to get the Jeremy Lafufus, the Meet Kevins, the Andre Geek audience, stock marketers, to get their audience to come in and think that they can make money easy, because they got a lot of money, friend. These people in this, they got S&P 500 money. You know what I mean? Like, they've been DCA buying for 20 years and stuff. So we got to get them to come in and trade their stocks, and then just one button away. They're like, hey, because once they start seeing a stock next to a share, they're like, wait a minute. A stock next to a crypto. They're like, hey. It's funny. God, man, this is so funny. There's some cute guy, not cute in homo way, but it's this cute little, just cute, innocent, young, just existing user of crypto messages Ivan and says, hey, Ivan, I want to buy the crypto stocks. I want to buy the stocks that are listed on Soylana, the X stocks. We joke as egg stocks. And I started laughing. I was like, oh my gosh, you have lost your way, young child. You have lost your way. And then Ivan, he pulled up the list of them, the top 30 of them. They were up plus 1.27% was the biggest. Plus 1.27%. It's like, whoa. And I'm like, dude, you're entering stuff with a 5% slippage. You understand? Slippage. In and out. You understand? Like, we made crypto because stocks are trash. Now that stocks have come onto crypto, you don't want to be touching them, bro. The market caps are too big. The meme is different. The meme of network effects does not exist in their world. Marcus Chad Saylor, the only thing better than Bitcoin is more Bitcoin. Friends, you see this type of nut job type of language stuff out here? This is what we need. This is crypto, man. This is literally crypto. We're all nutters. Yeah, it's kind of funny, friends. You know, everyone in crypto, we're all like, there's insiders and outsiders, right? We all know we're outsiders, all of us. We all know. We all know government's got UFO tech. We know all that stuff in crypto. Well, why is that? It's because, like, a part of your brain, you're just like, you know what? This TradFi system for normies is actually pretty dog shit. My inflation reading from the government says 3%, which means your salary goes up 3% per year. But you're like, wait, this makes no sense, dude. The price of food's going up 40% per year. Number one. Number two, you're like, bro, the rent is not going up that much. Rent's going up like freaking 10% per year. Like, everything's going up more than 3% and you're not getting paid for it. And we're just like, you know what? This system's shit. It's actually rubbish. Just go somewhere else, right? That's us. That's where you're like, hey, someone's being lied to over there. You know, that's a type of brain thinks that way. But because that's red pill. You wake up, right? You know, the Matrix. Yeah, you took the red pill. You're like, you know what? I've tried the blue pill my whole life. What's the worst that can happen? I'm just going to be stuck in the game. Try the red pill. But everybody's still stuck in the blue pill life. But they're in a bear market and they'll continue to get into a bear market, right? I mean, like, look at Donald Trump right now. They all thought, you know, the MAGA thing, friends. There are people now burning their hats. And we're saying, dude, just come to crypto, dude. Like, before you think your political opinion matters, just make yourself rich first so you don't have to work for someone. And then you can actually start talking. If you're really that impressed and you don't want to sip on cocktails on a beach somewhere, right? That's what it allows us to do. The power of crypto, right? Roca Negra has filed to add staking to the spot Ethereum ETF, which is huge, friends. Wall Street, they love yield for some reason. They love yield. Nothing more than yield. They love working capital. Yield. That's also why, man, when I hear that, man, I just want to choke them all out because, but I can't choke you out, my beautiful fluffy microphone. Back in 2020, so 5 years ago, man, we all thought, it's written everywhere, right, that TradFi, because yields was 0% in the world. It made so much sense. We had DeFi now in crypto, Aave, Chainlink, and, you know, Curve and all these, and Uniswap. We thought TradFi was going to come in and buy crypto DeFi coins. They didn't. Retail came in and just bought Dogecoins and gaming and other Ponzi's. So it was basically, we got to learn, right? So that's what you're seeing right now. The thesis for Soylana is that its fast transactions is going to attract TradFi and retailers who are making more pump fund JPEG trash coins, right? But I'm saying, look, man, it did. It did for a year and a half. What do you mean it's going to happen, bro? You ran up for 1.5 years. And by the way, I think this is a good segue for us to actually come out and when we should go check out this SOL-eth ratio, which is actually still going down. Look at it. It's actually still going down, friends. Almost to the bottom of the circle. SOL-eth is going down. So, look, man, I don't like seeing any chart go down. To be honest, I want them all to go up. I'm just showing you, man. The narratives are all fugazi. It doesn't matter what the narrative is. It doesn't matter. It matters how the market's positioned, right? The market priced Soylana as the favorite to flip Methereum and world adoption. And every KOL is talking about you like you're literally the best thing since sliced bread. You had it for a year and a half, right? So there you go, friends. Like, that's pretty much it. The secret to markets is positioning. And like, I'm still confident everybody's underexposed to altcoins. Very underexposed. The US House has passed Crypto Clarity Act and the Genius Act. They're actually trash, but they're good. Why are they good? But they're trash. They're bad for human rights and crypto and stuff, but they're good for PDI and PulseChain. So they enhance the product market fit of PDI. I like it. Stablecoin super cycle. Where are we going to go from here, friends? Of course, you know, if I go back and I just show you this weekly chart for BTC, these three rectangles are the major fibs. 155, 206, and 245, okay? I'm very confident this is going to be pinged. Okay. And then I'm also quite confident. So I have a 90% chance this is going to happen. I think 70% chance that we will come back up and rise above it. Okay. But now at this 200, what do we do from here? Is it going to be a super believer cycle? Or is it going to do the rollover? I don't know. Let's hope by the time we get to that point, we don't even need to worry. I'm hoping that this is enough alt season juice to make it worth our while. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.